Sorry about that, guys. I just had to go and do something. But yeah, as I was saying, I phoned my doctor and said that I was struggling and that I couldn't cope. And thankfully, she did listen and she put me on medication that has thankfully helped. And yeah, but she also said if I do get to the point where I feel I am going to act on those dark feelings or my bad thoughts or my scary thoughts, to either ring crisis line, like I said, or to ring them, or if I think I'm a danger to myself, call 999. Now, I am going to leave links for mental health organisations in the description, so if you can, please go and check them out. But I also want to talk about some of my autism triggers and just some of my triggers that are for my mental health. Now, just a warning, there is going to be mention of assault and sexual assault, mental, physical, emotional assault. So if you want to click out here now, you can. So let's rewind a few years. I was going out with a transgender man called Harvey. Now, the fact that he was transgender did not bother me. At first, everything was brilliant. We talked all the time, over FaceTime, we text each other, we'd ring each other, we would be brilliant. I'd go over to see him and it would be fine. But what I didn't see is that he was pulling my strings, like a puppeteer or a marionette, a puppeteer pulling strings on the marionette. And things happened and I went to live with him, and then that's when things got bad. He started controlling who I talked to, who I could be friends with. He isolated me from my family. He cut me off from my family. He tried to take away my best friends. He told me what I could eat, what I could wear. You know, it was awful. But again, I didn't see any of this because when you are in that situation, you don't see it. And this went on for a good couple of years, and during that time, sexual assault did happen. Now, at the time, I didn't know he was, there was times I did see he was sexually assaulting me, but there was at times as well I didn't see it as sexual assault until it was somebody who said to me, do you feel that you have to sleep with him? Or does he make you feel you have to sleep with him? And I said yes. And it was this person who told me, it was the person who was talking to me, said that, sweetheart, that is rape. So that's when everything started to unwind, and I did call the police, and talking to the police about what he did was one of the hardest, if not the hardest thing I have ever had to do. Sadly, nothing came of it because he couldn't have left evidence anyway, because, you know, technically he was still female down there, so there was nothing. But that's not the point. What I'm saying is that there was no physical evidence, and it was a he said, she said kind of thing. But it has gone on record, so that if he does it again, then things could be put into motion, and hopefully he would be done for it. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this expression, forgive the person, not the act, and I do forgive him, but I will never forgive what he done. But in a way, it's changed me. In some bad ways, yes, but in some good ways too. It's made me a stronger person, and it's made me more aware of the types of abuse that can go on in relationships. And this ties into some of my mental health triggers, and probably some of my autism triggers as well, but mainly my mental health. I now can't have someone come up behind me and grab me because, excuse me, I'm not sloth. What he used to do is he would come up behind me and grab me around the tits, and it would scare me because I wouldn't know he was there, and it just startled me, and I didn't want him to do that. I don't like being grabbed at the best of times, let alone from behind. And yeah, so that's one of my triggers for my mental health. Another one is people that are, pardon me, the best way I can put this is touchy, handsy, handsy. You know, who like to touch and hug and do all of that. I now can't have men, especially, hugging me. That even if I know them, I can't have men hugging me. Even though I know they mean me no harm, the only person I can have hug me, male-wise, is my brother. And that's just all because of what he did up here. Now, physically, I am free of what he did. But mentally, it takes a while. And there are some nights that I still wake up and think, oh God, is he here? Where is he? Or I have nightmares, I have flashbacks. There's certain things from storylines of certain shows that I watch, and that would trigger memories because they're too real, and I know that feeling, then I know that fear. But yeah, so just if you ever do feel that something isn't right in your relationship, listen to it, because your inner gut tells you that something isn't right. I did have that feeling, but I ignored it because I thought, he's my fiance, I love him, he loves me, blah 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 blah. But I wish I'd listened. Now, some of my autism triggers are they're completely different to my mental health triggers. But a lot of my autism triggers are... Sorry, that's one of my tics. I do that when I'm anxious. A lot of mine are like sensory based. So, for example, a lot of loud noises I can't deal with. People shouting I can't deal with. Like sirens, for example, on police cars, ambulances, fire engines. They're a big no-no for me. Sight-wise, I'm okay with. I've got really no visual. Well, it's not really a trigger, but like very violent movies, like Saw, for example. It's not really a trigger. It's just that just sets me off because I that's too bloodthirsty for my liking. But auditory, we've covered. Smell is not too bad. I don't have any smells that really irritate me. Well, there are smells I don't like, but there's nothing that triggers me that way. Taste, again, no real big triggers taste-wise. But there is a lot of touch sensation. What do you call that? Touch, I suppose, or the feeling of things, like fabrics and stuff that would make me anxious. For example, polystyrene. That's another auditory as well. The sound of polystyrene. That is a big trigger for me. Like the prickly labels on the back of clothes is a trigger, and that makes me really anxious. I'm trying to think what else my triggers are. Some of my triggers I don't even know about, but most of the time, or my mum can, see when I'm headed for a meltdown, and most of the time it's through stuff. It is just something's triggered and I haven't noticed it, or something has triggered me and I just don't talk about it, and then things just continue and continue and continue and I melt down. Another thing I have to have is routine, and change freaks me out. If anything changes at all, like routine wise for me, it completely and utterly freaks me out and I can't handle it, and then that would trigger a meltdown if I didn't deal with those feelings at the time. Now, a meltdown for me, sorry, he's making me too warm. A meltdown for me can 2 seconds, but I'm just going to put my fan on, so you'll probably hear for the rest of the video. 2 secs.